Mic check. Here we go. First and foremost, I want to apologize for the late start. Normally we get started at 7:30. It is 7:43. Oh my goodness. Without further delay, we're going to get right into this. But I just want to make sure that I offer an apology, because one thing we don't do here is make excuses, because excuses are useless. So we are accountable for our actions. But let me just tell you this. Right before we was going on, I had one of those moments. There's a video of this lady. She's sitting on the couch doing a podcast, and her wig falls off, and she's like, oh my goodness. Like, shout out to her for holding her composure through that. But that's how I felt. Was like, oh my goodness, we is not doing this right now at the last moment. Hey, but it all works out perfectly. So you just give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab this piece of paper off the printer, and we're gonna get into it. I see what happened. So I was printing out my definitions today. I want to be all fancy and stuff. And when you print out a picture from your phone, that black in the background, that turns to a color. So it literally, use all my blankie cup. Well. So let's get into it. Once again, thank you for being here for another Wisdom Wednesday discussion. I am Sance Inspire, your guide, generating, uplifting, inspiring, developing, and empowering you to live inspired every day, forever, because that's life. Today. Well. What do we have here? We're exploring wellness in life. And as always, if you are seeing this title and you're like, everybody's like, it's always spelled wrong. We spell life LIEF, for living inspired every day, forever. So we're exploring wellness as it pertains to our ability to live inspired every day, forever. So welcome. The metaphor of well. I think I just like hearing that. Well. What do we have here? Because you can use this term in so many different ways. But we're going to talk about well as sustenance for growth. I want to highlight how it's essential for us when it comes to being fulfilled and inspired every day, forever. Wellness, metaphorically, can be represented as well. We understand that. It is a deep source of sustenance and growth that nourishes every aspect of our being, especially when we are intent on doing that. So just as a well, when you think of a well with water in it, just as a well provides essential water for life, wellness, our wellness, encompasses the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects that sustain us and allow us to thrive. Because here, in order to live inspired every day, forever, we are on a journey to self. And on that journey, you must understand one important aspect. Yes, you are a human being, so you shouldn't always be a human doing. You should be a part of your being, your nature. You may only think like you're one-sided. I'm here to tell you, you're four-sided and four-eyed. I don't know why I said that. I just got glasses, so that was funny to me. But you are four-sided, right? You have four aspects that make up who you are. The physical, which we pay so much attention to because we can see it, it's always here. The mental, which we're discussing because that is what's causing a lot of our problems and is also allowing us to experience a life inspired. The physical, the mental, the spiritual, which is the one aspect that we are seeing that the world is not as tapped into, but we need that. That with the physical, we'll get into that. Physical, mental, spiritual, and lastly, emotional. Your emotions, the thing that you love to express, whether it be in a controlled state or an uncontrolled state, whether it be regulated or unregulated, or you be provoked or unprovoked, your emotion makes up the four folds or the four aspects of yourself. So you're not just here physically, and then you have thoughts, that's mentally, but then now we're tapping into our spirit so we can uplift that. And all of these things together allow us to be more stable, emotional beings. It allows us to be emotionally stable. And when we got all them four things working, now, well, what do we have here? So when it comes to physical wellness, like in regards to the well, because we as I get into this, when I say well, the well, that is us. That is you. You are the well. So physical wellness, like fresh water from a well, the physical wellness ensures your body is healthy, functional, at an optimal level. So we're not talking about just, well, I woke up today and no, that's not optimal. We don't want to do things, we aren't looking to do things average at a regular level. We are exceptional. So you must be optimal in your physical wellness. We have for too long just allowed ourselves just to skirt past that because we figure, well, you're going to get old anyway. Yes, you are going to get old. We all get older every day, every second of the day. Every year you celebrate a birthday, you get older. Old does not mean broken. Old does not mean destroyed, depleted, incapable, less than. As we get older and we mature, not only should our mindset, our mentality mature, our physical beings mature, our emotions should mature. Yet it seems as we push the physical to the side because we got so much going on, don't got time for this, ain't got time for that, until it's an emergency, then you got all the time in the world. You willing to throw everything away when that doctor says, if you don't change, I'm done doing this, I'm done doing that, I need to, because now you feel that your life is on the line. It's never not on the line. What causes us to wait until an emergency, 911, to all of a sudden start taking ourselves seriously? We knew to cut these things out, not to do them. But we just kept it going. We was like, you know what? It's okay. We'll make excuses for it. And then you receive that diagnosis, and now it's like, I have no choice. And so physical wellness, as we pay closer attention to that, not just as a New Year's resolution or trying to get summer fine or to fit in the next dress for what, none of that. To be optimal. Because, again, to be inspired is to never, 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 never stop prospering. It requires effort daily. And there are times where it's like, there's 365 days in a year. One of those days you ain't going to be consistent. That's okay. The difference is you arise each day intent on giving the effort required every day. Some days you may fall short. Some days you may why is that word just slipping my mind? Some days you'll fall short. Some days you may go overboard. You may exceed. You may have an excess. And you can carry that over to the next day. The thing is that you are intentionally wanting to give effort every day instead of what we have been taught to do and told to do and shown to do, which is just discard it. Oh, I'll put it off till tomorrow. What if tomorrow don't ever happen? And this is a cliche saying or an idea, term, expression. When people always say, hey, the graveyard is full of ideas that never came to fruition. That is true. That is true. And we shouldn't carry these things to the grave. We should fully express ourselves now. Have you ever regretted not doing something? I wish I would have did more of that. I wish I would have said more of this. I wish I would have told this person, shown this person. Regret happens because you are not fulfilled. You are not fulfilled because you are withholding. You're pushing it off till tomorrow. And that never feels good. And so now that next day, if you don't do it, it becomes a regret. We can eliminate regrets by doing it. Doing what we say we're going to do. If you say it, do it. That could be the first step for your everyday effort. Every day I wake up, I am going to affirm my words. I'm going to back them up. If I say it, I'm going to be intent on doing it, or I'm not going to say it. And so our physical wellness, it's not the most important, but it is very important. That involves the regular exercise. You don't have to be a marathon runner. You don't even have to be an Olympic weightlifter. But you got to be active. You can't sit down and watch more TV because it's too hot outside. So I'm going to sit in the air conditioning and relax and watch TV. And then I'm wondering why our bodies, as we get older, they're more rigid. It's harder to move. Now you have all these pains, aches and pains. It's because we're not as active. We don't do regular exercise, simply walking. We driving everywhere. Nowadays, If everybody don't have a car, they have access to a car, some type of motor vehicle. We hadn't been at a time like this ever. To where, again, if you look at public transit, we're using that less than we've ever used it. Everybody has the access to vehicles, so we can go further than we've ever traveled before. And we're using these vehicles to go further than we ever traveled before. And then when we get to our destination, we struggle to get out of the damn vehicle because we ain't moving our bodies. We wonder why when we stand up, the back hurts and your hips are locked and the ankles and the knees and the neck and the shoulders. You got to move. You have to exercise regularly. You have to balance your nutrition. And as I say this, I'm telling you, it ain't easy. I'm not going to ever, I hope to never talk to you and make it seem like, oh, this shit is easy and you're a loser for not doing it or whatever. No, first of all, we know here losers inspire everyone. So we embrace that because we love outreaching, set expectations, rewarding, self. I'm glad I heard you say that. But the understanding is that ain't no excuse. We got to stop talking about this is hard because you don't do things that are easy. So we always talking about something's hard, but you don't do things that are easy. You do hard things and they become easier. This is why people look at you and they're like, damn, you make it look effortless. And you're like, what? Huh? Well, I don't know. Not me. I do it too. Once you recognize you are the calculus, everything becomes addition after that. Like you are the most difficult equation to solve. Yet you're looking outside of yourself and saying all of these other things are so hard and you can't do them. That's the only reason why you're not doing them. So we want regular sleep, regular exercise, balanced nutrition. What does that mean? We're not always eating the same thing all the time. Sometimes as a part of that day, you need a salad because of what that salad is going to do for your gut health, how it aids. We really out here thinking that this world was created with things in it that don't benefit us. That we are the ones that's going to decide, oh, we don't need this green leafy stuff. What? Just like doctors will tell you, you don't need your kidneys. Okay. You can survive with one thing, like they say. You can live. You will still be alive, blinking eyes and all that. Because we have lowered what it means, what life is. We have lowered that. So we just happy just to be breathing. It don't matter if you can't even use any of your extremities at all. You just want to be breathing. We are capable of raising our level of living. Just as we've lowered it to just accept whatever, to just put anything in our body. Balance. It doesn't mean you have to completely give up anything. You do when you're unbalanced. You can't continue to do that anymore. You overconsumed. So in order for you to balance, you got to stop. You have to get rid of it. That's why. Really think God created the earth with all these things that, oh no, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Why are you here? You're an explorer. And when you're talking about don't overdo. So regular exercise, don't overdo the exercise. You in the gym 2, 3, 4, 5 hours for what? Nope. Balance your nutrition. Don't overdo it and just keep eating sweets because you love desserts and burgers because you love that, or the same things all the time. Sufficient sleep. Don't make the excuse of why you're not going to give yourself adequate sleep so that you can wake up tired, more irritable each and every day. And now we got to hear that. Oh, well, I don't get enough sleep. Well, then get some damn sleep. We are putting everything above ourselves. We can't sleep because of the job. The job will stop. 2020 didn't show us anything. The world will shut down. Businesses will shut down on you. The government will shut down on you if it needs to. Yet we're going to keep going and saying, no, I can't. Oh, yeah, you're lying. And I'm not going to do that. I may lie, but I'm no liar. And when I say I may lie, I may live inspired every day. That's the lie. We got to stop making excuses for why we are going to bury ourselves. There's no excuse for that. One second, please. I got to put this on the charger before it goes kaput on me. There we go. Oh, okay. I'm going to do this. Oh, duh. It's not that. I'm sorry. Okay. Pardon the interruption. Like I was saying, back into physical wellness. The reason that we need to begin to take our physical wellness more seriously is because your physical well-being, believe it or not, your physical well-being is what provides the energy and vitality needed to pursue your goals and enjoy your daily activities. It is the energy and vitality needed. So when we are building this vessel, they say the body is like a pyramid. When you're building that, it's because this body is a generator. You get your energy from here. So if you're building yourself up, you're building the energy to sustain those daily actions that you need, that are required to prosper and to never stop. What happens is your physical wellness may change because you're not 20 years old anymore. And you ain't running like you used to. So now you start walking. Maybe now you're on a bike. But you're not active. You're finding any way to be active. Just like a close friend of mine who decided in her age that she was going to get some rollerblades. And I hope she done put them things on. Because that's what we're talking about. Being fearless enough to say, you know what? Yep, I'm about to go get some rollerblades. I'm about to get a bike. You know what I'm about to do? Right across the street from where I live, there's a skate park. When I was a teenager, I fell in love with skateboarding. I haven't done it since then. But when I went to that park with my children, they remember when I had a board. They were like, oh, is this what? Now it's back in my mind. I said, you know what? I just want to go over there with my little skateboard and hurt myself. But it's just like, hey, be fearless. Why not? I'm not trying to be a professional and go pro and be like, or I'm not even caring about if anybody sees it. I just want to go out there and remind myself to feel that again, to be in that wellness. You do what you have to do. That's part of my exercise. You got to be less rigid with these things. We thinking, no, you only can do it like this and it has to be this. No, it can be anything, man. Dancing is physical wellness. You too afraid to dance in front of people? Okay, great. When you at home, crank that damn music up and you better dance like nobody's watching. They better not be watching, because then you got another problem with your hands. But you have to start somewhere, okay? Start in the privacy of your home, doing little things. But find a way to get yourself moving. Find a way to add some balance to your nutrition. Throw a lemon in that water from time to time. Say, you know what? I'm going to cut this TV off today. And I'm going to see if I can't get some sleep. Stop allowing yourself to believe you can't sleep. You're doing the same things every night. You turn the TV on. You got your phone by the bed. You're not changing. You have to recalibrate. It takes time for recalibration. You think you turn the TV off and you're just supposed to go to sleep? No. So guess what you can do? Earlier in your day, if you get some regular exercise and you move in your body, you're going to be tired that night. You know why? Because you're using the energy. If we're sitting at home, I don't care how many hours you work. That ain't using your energy. That's not physically moving your body. So when you are ready to go to sleep, all those thoughts on your mind, well. We got you now. Now you're entertaining them 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Because throughout the day, you weren't releasing them. You don't have to sit with your thoughts. You got to get up, get out, and get some fresh air and sunshine. Believe it or not. Don't trust me, trust yourself. Go outside and prove yourself right. That, oh, if I just go outside and walk in the fresh air and the sun, that all of a sudden I'm going to start thinking, what is that? Yup. And it's just like that. You're going to get outside, you're going to walk, you're going to be like, it's so hot out here, the sun, just keep going. After a while, you're just walking. Find something out there. Go somewhere that you like to be. Because one thing that I see too often is we can find something wrong with every damn thing. So that means we're missing the glory. We're missing the goodness. We don't see light. We only see darkness, which is funny to see darkness. But if you cut off the lights, what's the thing you say? I can't see. But we have become experts at seeing darkness and being blind to the light. So the light is too bright, it blinds us, but the darkness is perfect enough that we can see it. Maybe. Because we're not moving our physical bodies, it's affecting our mental wellness. The clarity and peace of mind that we need day to day. If our clarity and peace of mind are affected, we got blurred vision. Objects in the mirror look closer than they appear. That shadow looked like the boogeyman. When there is no peace in your mind, there is chaos. Everything somebody does or says you believe is no good, or you don't accept it, you're not going to receive it, you're rejecting it. We can't praise you, we can't compliment you. And for me, that's been a difficult thing, to compliment somebody and have them reject it. It's like, damn. But I remember when I was there, and parts of me are still there. I don't necessarily reject it, but I may not fully accept it right away because I'm looking at it and I'm weighing it and I want to understand. But I was there where you gave me a compliment. I'm looking around like, hey, here you go. You can have this back. You meant to get at, you dropped this. Like what? This compliment you gave me, it's not for me, it's for somebody else. I'm not that. I'm not that person. Yet the funny part about that is we yearn for somebody to see us, for somebody to feed into us with positive words, affirmations, to be supported. Yet when those people come around before we are capable, we reject them. Let me just tell you how my clarity and peace of mind was so distorted. Those people that meant me good, I thought that they were negative. The people that were actually negative to me, I thought they were saying those things because they meant better. They just wanted me to improve. Yet the people who were complimenting me, supporting me, I thought they was just trying to get something from me. They're trying to use and abuse me, when in fact the people that were doing that are the ones that were demeaning me and making it seem like it was constructive criticism. For instance, a recent conversation I just had with somebody where I am simply standing my ground, putting up my boundaries, saying, well, no, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that, because those things will take me away from what I need to do, who I need to be. And you're not somebody who is worthy of that. When you stand your ground, when you're just you, because when you stand, it doesn't mean that you are negative. Doesn't mean you got to curse somebody out or be mean. Just simply saying, no, we're not going to do that anymore. When the thing you're afraid to say to people, no, when you actually say that, you actually get to see who they are for real. And one thing that became evident to me that I never realized about my wellness, especially my mental wellness, was that people were able to push me off balance because they would talk in a way with these, like, they're not even half truths. They would say something about you that maybe you know to be true, but then the way that it's presented, you don't accept that. So then that makes you look like a problem. So we all have our struggles. Let's say you showing up late for work. And so you're showing up late for work because you're waking up and you got to get the kids ready. And maybe you didn't go to sleep the night before, but you know the reason why, and you're actively fixing it. You're working on yourself. And so when they say, see, you always late because you probably out drinking and you're like, huh? And you have no responsibility and you're like, wait, no, I am responsible. So now you don't accept that. So now it looks like you're going against it. Now it looks like, oh, you're stubborn, you're hard-headed. It's not that. When people want to use your mental state against you, they want to disrupt your peace of mind and block your clarity. So what you think you're seeing, you're going to second guess it. The moment you're second guessing what you see, your clarity is affected, and that is disturbing your peace. When you see something and you accept that, that's clarity and peace of mind, because there's no doubt. Where's the doubt coming from? You saw it. But now we allow somebody to get in our ear and tell us what we're seeing. That's not what you saw. That's just you overreacting. And because you know you may have a tendency to overreact at times, you're like, yeah, it is me overreacting. No, it's not. And so what if it was? There's a reason why you do these things. And so akin to clarity of that water that's down in that well, that clarity and peace of mind are akin to the clarity of the water drawn from a clean well. And we have allowed people to dirty the well, which makes the water murky. You are the well. If I draw water from your well and it's dirty, the well is tainted. Well, we're not, that's not how we're talked to. It's not how we're approached. Nobody's understanding us like that to say, oh, something happened here. The well has been tainted. They just blame you. Something's wrong with you. The water's dirty. Now they just throw you away. Now you're trash or all these things. And in fact, we all know this. Something happened to me to do this. And now you're blaming me to say that I am that. That's not me. Do you know how much that hurts? When somebody is blaming you and you know something happened to you and you want to be better, yet it seems like everybody around you, they're around you. They don't surround you. They're just around. Seen Game of Thrones. Remember, she's walking through the town and they're shame, 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 shame. Like, this is what it seems like people are doing in our lives. And they're able to do that as long as our mental wellness is not well. As long as that water is dirty, they can do that. So our job, because they're going to continue, our job is to be able to manage stress effectively. You know, or if you don't, you need to know the things that trigger you and how they trigger you. We're always asking why. That's cool. But you need to know what and how. What is it and how is it doing it? Because that's why whatever is happening, the outcome is happening. And so to manage your stress, you need to identify your stressors. As you identify your stressors, you can better manage those things. Maybe I don't always go into that room anymore or go that way. I'm going to go a different way. I'm not going to talk to that person. I'm not going to be around these people in these situations. With that, you're going to begin, as you start to identify stressors and be able to manage to maneuver around them, to remove them, whatever you're doing. You're going to start to cultivate a different understanding. And as that's happening, that's when you start to implement the positive thoughts. People are out here telling you, think on happy thoughts, think on happy thoughts. How can you think on happy thoughts when the well is dirty? You're trying to put something clean on top of something dirty. You have to filter that out. So an experiment that you can do is to take a cup of water in a clear glass. Or the next time you got dirty dishes, you can put some soap in a glass and just run the water. And as long as that water is running through that glass, it'll eventually filter out whatever's in there. The soap, the water will become clear, the dirt will be removed. So what process or what in your mind has us thinking that we don't have to filter anything, that we can just keep going every day, every week, every month, every year? You're just going to keep going without filtering, without removing those hindering thoughts that are now outdated. People have some thoughts in their head that are 20-some years old, 10 years old, 5 years old. Which means you have not removed them. Your mind is worse than our Congress. and House of Representatives. You got a bunch of old, outdated mindsets trying to run and regulate your life. Look at the problems they're creating. Look at the problems we are having in the country. You have old, outdated mindsets trying to be relevant. You didn't refresh. You didn't renew. You didn't filter. And when I say old, I don't mean in age, because there are some people that are old in age, but they have filtered out those old. They don't think the same way they did in 1982, 92, 2002, 2012. Refreshing, cultivating these positive thoughts help you filter. But before you do that, you have to start understanding your stressors. Or as you're trying to think positive, you're going to be too stressed out. You're going to go right back into that negative habit again. Manage your stress effectively. Cultivate positive thoughts. And then seek that mental stimulation. We talked about this in physical wellness. One thing that mentally stimulates me before I got on here and probably contributed to me starting a little late, I had music playing and I was in my kitchen cooking. I can't really sing that well. Let me stop playing. I said that well. Boy, I can't sing. I could probably shatter glass. But that don't matter to me. Because when you're feeling the music, when you're doing something you love to do, everything else don't exist no way. I think I'm Grammy Award winning artist. Until somebody be like, oh man, can you? Oh, my bad. The mental well-being is going to enable you to make sound decisions, to handle challenges with our favorite word, resilience, because you are resilient. And it's going to allow you to maintain focus. Right now, our focus has been fleeting. It's on this thing, it's on that thing, it's on this thing, it's on that thing. It's always being taken advantage. We have to maintain focus. Something takes your attention away, boom, bring it back. Maintain. Get your body physically moving. Get our bodies physically moving with regular exercise, balanced nutrition, sufficient sleep, and preventative health care. Get our mind clear and peaceful, managing stress, cultivating positive thoughts, seeking mental stimulation so that you can handle life's challenges the way you're meant to handle them, like a boss. That's 2 out of 4. Emotional wellness. Your emotions, they're deep. They come from deep inside you. They're rooted deep inside you. That's like the depth in that well. When you look down in a well, when we think about a well, it's like, oh, that's a hole in the ground that goes way down there. Our emotional wellness, the depth of our emotions, and the stability of our emotional state is similar to the levels of water in that well, in your well. Are there high levels to where now you're emotionally stable, you can handle your emotions, you're able to say no if you need to say no? Or are those water levels low? And therefore our emotions are greatly affected and they affect us. Are you able to recognize your emotions when you are mad and then change that? When you are sad? Or do we get stuck in our emotions? Inside Out 2 is out right now. And I took my youngest 2 kids to see that, 8 and 5. Would you know, this was the first movie, and we went to see it in the theaters. And when I go to the movie theaters with my kids, for whatever reason, I take that as nap time. I'm going to sleep. This movie, though, never got tired. I'm watching this movie like they're watching a movie. They're able to understand. I'm thinking this movie is going to be, there were parts in there, you know, this is how we do with Hollywood. But I'm thinking that because it was about a teenager, I'm like, 8 and 5, they're not going to really understand this. But actually, it made just as much sense to them. They started to see, oh, that's what shocked me the most was we're now having conversations about emotions. Is that why I get angry? Is that what happens when I get sad? Having an emotional discussion with an 8 and 5-year-old to the point where when I say I get emotional, it's not like I'm crying, but you know how you can feel that emotion coming from deep in the well and it's rising up. The waters of the well are rising because my son, I only have one son. I have 3 daughters. And I've begun to see the importance of my son because he's shown me the importance of myself. And so when we're riding around after the movie and his sister is talking, and then he jumps up and he starts talking, and in the midst of this young man's sentence, he says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I almost had an accident." Not really, but I could have because I took my eyes off the road. Immediately looked back. So I'm like, wait, what? What did you? That moment stuck in my mind for the rest of that day. Because for me, that was like, you're able to see your emotions? As an 8-year-old, I couldn't do that. I'm 37. This is something that I've just begun to do. This is an 8-year-old that can say, I was wrong. I apologize. I didn't mean to do this. That just proved to me we are capable. Are we willing to do it? Because we're willing to excuse it and make the excuses for why we didn't. Are you willing to take account, to stand up and decide, you know what? I'm going to do different. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I'm going to do different. Y'all walking backwards, I'm going to walk forward. Because if an 8-year-old can understand that, I don't know what our excuse is as adults. We seem to make more excuses than our children are making. You tell them something, they're going to correct it. They're going to fix it. You tell an adult something, they're going to argue with you. The water level in that well is very low. Because the emotional wellness ain't there. It's not stable. We're not recognizing our emotions and then accepting them as ours. I might recognize my emotion, then I'm trying to give it to you. This ain't mine. This is because of you. And then, no, it's not. I've always had, and this isn't to say that if you do this, that you're bad or I'm better. No. It's just giving you an understanding of myself. I've had this issue with blocking people. And everybody's like, I always see that. And I'm like, dang, they're like, yeah, I blocked this person. I'm blocking this and blocking that. You're not going to, affect my life. And I used to be like, I struggle with that because I'm like, why do I have to block you? Like, why am I putting that much energy into that anyway? But there are just some people, some energies they persistent as hell. And you gotta lock the door because they gonna keep coming in. You don't live here. They still gonna keep coming. Oh, I'm sorry. Boy, you done did this. You know what? I'm locking the door. I ain't got time for this. So as I began to understand my reasons for blocking, I think it was today I saw there was somebody who was giving a talk about it. No, I saw a reel and I think I shared it. And it said, sometimes he was saying you don't need to block them. What you need to do is rename them as do not answer. And I was like, hey, that makes sense. Now that makes sense for me. Then I jumped in the comments because we always want to see what people are saying. And one of the comments was, I label them with what my issue is. So it's like, this person doesn't respect my boundaries. So when they call, it says doesn't respect boundaries. And they were like, I do that to remind me of why I don't mess with this person. I said, that's actually a good idea too. The comment that I didn't really, that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way was when I saw somebody said, because the guy that was speaking, he was saying, you label them don't answer 1, don't answer 2, don't answer 3, don't answer 4. And in the comments, somebody said, I'm at don't answer 61. And immediately my spirit said, well, the problem is you. Because if you have to block 61 people, trust me. Don't trust me. Trust yourself. 61 people ain't the problem. A handful, you put 3, 4, I get it. 61? I don't know. I don't know how well my emotions are if I got blocked that many people. At some point in time, it might be like, well, anybody that say something I don't like, I'm just going to block you. That's why before managing, understanding, being able to recognize your emotions is very important. Because now you can be in a room and say, oh, I got to move around. Why? Because if I don't move out of here, what he's saying is not resonating with me, so I need to get out of this room because I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to do that because this is about me. Once we are able to recognize, then we can begin to manage. And as we're managing our emotions, guess what that's going to allow us to do? Have healthier relationships. And as we have these healthier relationships, you know what those healthier relationships produce? If the healthier relationships don't produce it, this produces healthier relationships. Self-compassion. Self-compassion. You're more compassionate for yourself, just as you are compassionate for everybody else. And as we do this, enhancing our emotional well-being enhances our ability to form meaningful connections, navigate conflicts, and experience the one thing that I believe that we should have every day. Joy. 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 And if you're seen inside out, joy is the main character. That is for a reason, whether we recognize it or not. Joy is the main character and is responsible for all other emotions. Joy is the leader. Is joy the leader in your life? Are you being led by joy? Are you in joy? You have to be in joy to enjoy. Because if you're not in joy, you're going to end joy. You have to be in joy to enjoy. If you're not in joy, you're going to end, E-N-D, joy. Physical wellness, mental wellness, emotional wellness. 3 points of the pyramid. Now, we have to breathe life into that. That's where the spirit comes. Spiritual wellness. I had to take a deep breath on that one. I want to pay my respects, because this is the aspect that we don't find out in the world, that we're not taught about in the schools, that we hear but we don't always feel. Spiritual wellness runs parallel. Remember, we just talked about the depths of our emotions. We talked about the nourishment that is provided within our life. This nourishment that you receive comes from your spiritual practices, if you have developed them, if you have them. This means the well is fulfilled. We are drawing clear, clean water from a deep, full well. This is when you begin to find meaning and purpose in life. You start to tap into those passions. You're connecting values, beliefs, and practices that promote inner peace and harmony. Joy is in charge. You see what happens when anger is in charge, or sadness, frustration, uncertainty, doubt, fear. The nourishment that is found within your spiritual practices that allow you to find the meaning, the purpose. They build your values and beliefs. And as you build those, you're promoting inner peace and harmony in your life on a daily basis. See, a lot of us have never experienced what it's like when you begin to promote. Hey, here's a promotion. Inner peace, you got a promotion. Now I want you to be head of my life. When you begin to promote inner peace and harmony, it's hard to disrupt that. So your life before, when it was like easy to disrupt and to throw a wrench in your plans, and there was always a fork in the road, this time, those things don't go away. There's always a fork in the road, but you know which way to go. They throw a wrench in the plans and you take it and you use that wrench to fix it. It's almost as if you're undeniable. It's almost as if you know what to do when it happens. Instead of before something happens and we didn't know what to do, we may have been stuck. Now you're knowing what to do, when to do, how to do, and why you do what you do. Because like we talked about in our previous discussion, it's not what you do. It's how you do what you do that makes you you. And how you promote your physical wellness, mental wellness, emotional wellness, and spiritual wellness, well. That's going to make you the exceptional you. And so everywhere you go, they will make an exception for you. The 4 aspects that make up who you are: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. That spiritual well-being, the wrapper, the one that runs parallel, that is outside, that encompasses. It provides you the sense of direction. Up until that time, your GPS coordinates are off, or there is no connection. You ever been driving somewhere and GPS went out, and now you like, I don't know where to go. You just pull over maybe, or you just keep going, hopefully, or you're lost until that comes back on. Well, your spiritual wellness is like having a GPS and a map and being familiar with where you at. So how you gonna get lost? Even when you're lost, you're in the right place. Because you're not lost. But we feel that way because our GPS is off. How you gonna have a sense of direction if your spirit is tainted? If it's not even activated? If you don't even cultivate it? You go work your body out. You go read books to strengthen your mind. You watch TV and you laugh, and then that's it. I'm good. Maybe you only do one of those. What happens when you do all 4? What happens when you connect 4? You win. You ain't never played Connect 4? When you connect 4, game over. When you connect 4, game over. They're going to stop playing. They're going to want to change the game. Can we play Monopoly now? We can play any game you want to, because I done connected 4, so it don't matter what you do. I just hope you have connected 4, because if you ain't connect 4, you ain't going to be a challenge. And to the inspired out there, you're not a challenge anymore. Excuse me. They're not a challenge. You are the challenge now. These things don't affect you like they used to. They're not wearing you down. You're wearing them down. Life ain't beating you up. We learning how to counterpunch. This is what this is about. Providing a sense of direction, building that resilience in times of adversity. When you need it, it's there. Money in the bank. You don't have to go borrow, beg, and plead. It's there when you need it. Because you've been tapping in. You've been building your reserves. And as you built that resilience for those times of adversity, when before you didn't know which way to go, what to do, now you know where to go, what to do. And so because of that, you are deeply, deeply connected to yourself. And because of that, you establish a deeper connection with others. It's hard to be deeply connected with you because you're not deeply connected with you. So you trying to deeply connect it with me feels fake. Don't try to know me. Know thyself. Because you are just as, if not more interesting. I guarantee you're more important to you than I am to you. So there's no need to know me if you don't know you. Get to know yourself and you'll start to know me. Easy. Sounds far-fetched, I know. Things that are far-fetched should be retrieved. Things that are far-fetched, go the distance and retrieve it. Go far to fetch it and bring it back. And then you're going to realize that wasn't even that far. Maybe we're not going as far as we can because we're not going far because we think it's too far. if you go too far, you realize how far you can actually go. Seems we went to the moon and we just said, hey, we ain't going. I went to the moon, so now I'm going to just go to the corner. And that's it. This discussion, well, an exploration in wellness. The intent and purpose, as always, is to give you the understanding, the tools necessary so that you can implement them into your life, into your existence, so you can live life. You can experience life, which is living inspired every day, forever. It is important that you nurture all the dimensions and aspects of yourself to be truly well. Because there is being well, then there's well, and then there's being well. That's why, well. What do we have here? An inspired individual. With that, I will open the floor for comments, questions, concerns. Maybe you got some tips, tricks for me, some insight for me. This is when I open it up for that.